Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cartoon Boom. This is a show where we wake up with the Saturday morning sun, plop down on the floor with a big bowl of sugary cereal, while watch our favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm your leather-clad catboy with a penchant for flirting, Joseph.
And I'm an evil Mothman. Bring me your lamps. My name is Chris.
And today, we watched Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. First off, I gotta say, I don't like how they did the title. I like it when it was just Miraculous Ladybug. That makes sense. But when it's Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, that breaks it entirely. It just sounds wrong.
So is it, and this is one thing I have a question, maybe you'll cover this, is it I think this was a French show originally, and is it in France or in other places, is it just called Miraculous or Miraculous Ladybug, and then they changed it, or how did that go? Fill me in.
I think it's all of the above everywhere. Like, I don't know that it's like specifically known. It's just like all I've seen on it is like AKA Miraculous Ladybug or AKA just Ladybug or just Miraculous. So this is kind of just combining all those things. And Cat Noir, I didn't even know he was a person in this thing. I've seen pictures of Ladybug before. I'm like, okay, that looks like a fun show or whatever, a kid show. But I had never seen Cat Noir. So for him to be added to the title, that made me think like, okay, maybe this is a spin-off of the Ladybug show I've heard about. And this is like his Slimer and the Real Ghostbusters moment. But no, that is inaccurate. So this is the main show, and he just got tagged onto the title. He is one of the co-main characters, so it makes sense kind of, but it also could have just been Miraculous Ladybug and been fine.
Sure. Yeah, I was just like looking it up, like some info, and like even Wikipedia seems confused about it. It's just like Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, also known as Miraculous Ladybug, also known as Miraculous, also known as Ladybug. It's just like, dang, they're just as confused as us.
Yeah, it's not like like when I look at the French title, I can't pronounce it, of course, but it's basically Adventures of Ladybug and Cat Noir.
Les Adventures de Ladybug et Chat Noir.
Yeah.
I may have screwed that up. I haven't done French for a long time, folks. I took French for 2 years, and I don't remember nothing aside from, I mean, I was a young high school kid, so I thought it would be funny to learn really stupid things that you would never say
language to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, cause like I would say, j'ai le fromage dans ma pantalon, which I think I may have said it wrong, but I'm pretty sure that means I have cheese in my pants. And I would just like constantly say that in my French class, and my teacher would shake her head and occasionally throw objects at me.
Chris, I have to fail you. That's the only phrase you've picked up this entire semester.
She was going to fail me anyway. She didn't like me at all.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
So, okay, the show Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir aired from 2015 to present.
Gotta say it every time.
I know. Created by Thomas Astruc, developed by Jeremy Zagtoon, Method Animation, and Toei Animation. Produced by there's a lot of producers here. Produced by Zagtoon, Method Animation, Toei Animation, the Walt Disney Company in France, SAMG Entertainment from season 1 to 3 and 5 onward, and then SK Broadband for season 1 through 3. De Agostini Editore, season 2 to present. On Kids and Family, season 2 to present, and then Gloob from season 4 to present. There's a lot of...
What is that last one? Gloob?
It's just Gloob. Gloob.
Oh.
You're not a fan of the Gloob network?
Not anymore. I mean, now that I know that's how you say it. Now that I know it
exists. This is run for 5 seasons, 119 episodes so far. Originally on TF1 in France, ABC Me in Australia, EBS One in South Korea, the Family Channel in Canada, Gloob in Brazil. Okay, so that's a Brazilian company. And the Disney Channel in America and worldwide. Woo!
All right. Yeah. Also, this was suggested to us by our Patreon supporter, Eves or Evs. You heard me go through that whole thing there. I'm going to go with Eves. I like the sound of that one. Eves.
It sounds good, but I think it's Evs just because there's no extra E in there in between.
That's a good point. Evs makes more sense. All right, Evs.
Her name might be Evelyn or something. It just goes by Evs. I don't know for sure, but that's my guess.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty good. Okay, we have dubbed you Evs.
Your Evs, real name Evelyn, even if that's not your real name, it is now.
No, it is your real name.
It's gotta be.
Evs.
Okay, so for a short synopsis, Marinette and Adrian, I keep wanting to say Marionette because of the way it's spelled. Marinette and Adrian, two normal teens, transform into superheroes, Ladybug and Cat Noir, when an evil threatens their city.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's a thing. I just love how themed this villain is. It's you know what though? Actually, everything about this is interesting, but the themes are so strange to me. You know.
I feel like part of it's like not lost in translation, but some of it's like a cultural thing, possibly. And at the same time, I feel like even though it's it's a very straightforward show and everything's colorful and themed, but there's a lot more complexity behind it. Maybe not a lot more, but there's complexity behind everything to where it makes it a little bit more than just the sum of its parts.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Who were some of the actors you played in this show?
Okay, so the voice of Marinette, a.k.a. Ladybug in the French, which was where it was originally done, was Anouk Habois. I'm trying so hard with that. I don't know. I'm going to butcher the French names. I'm just letting y'all know. They're going to get butchered. I can't do it anymore. In English, Christina Valenzuela, a.k.a. Christina V, as she's known quite a lot, who has voiced, I'll tell you this much. Let's just save everybody a little bit of time. Everyone on the English side has been in three things together. Sailor Moon, like the original dub and Sailor Moon Crystal. They've all been in Hunter x Hunter, and they've all been in the Seven Deadly Sins. So those three anime, everyone in the English cast, all of them are all in those three as well. So there you go. I'm going to save everyone some time.
Does Cat Noir play Meliodas in Seven Deadly Sins?
I believe so. I don't have that one written down exactly, but I think that I think that was it.
Okay. Yes. I knew I recognized his voice from somewhere, and I went through an entire month of binging the entirety of Seven Deadly Sins. Even though I had some issues with some of the later seasons, I had to get through it just to know. And that voice sounded so familiar to me, and I didn't know why, but now it's hitting me that you said Seven Deadly Sins. It's got to be Meliodas.
I just double checked. Yes, it is Meliodas.
Got it. Okay. That's it.
I've never watched it. I do want to see it though. I've never seen it.
It's a lot of fun. There's some really good parts to it. Some of the later seasons are kind of meh for me, but
sure,
it picks up okay.
Well, Christina V has also voiced a few other characters that you'd be familiar with, especially you, Joseph. One in particular I wanted to mention just because you'd be really happy about it, which was Mosquito Girl in One Punch Man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a great character. That's just why I wanted to bring it up. She also voices a few characters from the Monster Prom series, which is a video game series that you and I are super fond of.
Yeah.
Where she voices both Joy and Vera. So
cool. Okay.
Yeah, we've heard her voice a lot and just didn't realize it. She's also Shantae in the Shantae, series, like all those games.
That's a series I definitely want to play through. Yes.
Super fun. We also just heard her voice when we played River City Girls. She was one of the main girls in that as well. So
dang.
Yeah, she's great.
She's been in a lot of stuff that I've done.
I know. Well, speaking of people that are in a lot of stuff, so the voice of Adrian, aka Cat Noir, in the French was Benjamin Bolin, and in English, Bryce Papenbrook, which we just talked about some of the stuff that he's in, but aside from the three that everybody's in, he's also the voice of Kirito in Sword Art Online, Inosuke from Demon Slayer, and Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, so if he sounds familiar, yep, that'd be why. That's a lot of big titles, or characters. Hawkmoth, which is our villain. In French, so I think he's called something else in the French version. I don't think he's called Hawkmoth. I believe he is called let's see if I can say it. Le Papillon. I think. I don't know.
What does that mean?
You know what? Don't ask me these things. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You can't just
I don't know.
introduce me to that name without a meaning behind it.
Okay, let's find out. What if I look it up and it's translates as hawk moth?
Yeah, that's why I need to know.
Let's see. Oh, I think it's butterfly. Let me see. Yes, it means butterfly.
Oh, okay. I guess hawk moth is more threatening than butterfly, but why hawk moth? That was the weird part to me.
Yeah.
Like, why is he a hawk and a moth?
Because he's a deadly moth. I don't know.
Killer moth would have been cool.
Killer moth sounds good. He can't go with the monarch because that was
or he could have just been Akumoth, because Akuma was a whole thing in this series.
Yeah, all the little bad sinister butterfly things are called Akumas. So he could have been Akumoth. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the French, he is voiced by Antoine Tomé, and in English, Keith Silverstein. In all the series I've been talking about, again, he's also the voice of Torbjorn from Overwatch, which is where I am very familiar with Keith Silverstein. The voice of Alya, which I keep struggling with that name because that is my dog's name. It like reversed with 2 letters, and it keeps messing with my dyslexia really badly. In French is Fanny Blanc. In English, Carrie Kuranen, who is also in Kill la Kill and also Tales of Zestria X, both of which I haven't seen but wanted to see, especially Kill la Kill. Looks cool. 2 more, almost there. The voice of Tiki in French is Marie Nonenmacher. I think I got that one. And in English is Melali. Hopefully I got that one. I don't know if I did. Mela is also the voice of Rin Tosaka from the Fate Stay Night series, which there's a ton of those, and then also the voice of Lifeline from Apex Legends, for those of you Apex players out there that, hate Overwatch. There you go. And then the voice of Plague in French was voiced by Thierry Kazazian. Okay. It was voiced by Thierry Kazazian, and in English, Max Middleman, who is the voice of Saitama from One Punch Man, one of your favorite animes of all time. Also the voice of Lion-O and Wily Cat from Thundercats Roar, but we won't talk about that.
We don't have to talk about that part. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to do that. So that's the main cast.
Right on. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My mouth hurts from all the French.
And this is one of those animations where it's like the CG, but it's done pretty well. I mean, it's relatively, I mean, it's not new. It's 2015, but that's relatively new as far as like series go. And it shows, because it's like it's got a decent production value to it. It doesn't look cheap, and like I didn't notice at least any like wonky, like weird CG stuff that you see in like lesser made shows.
Yeah. Definitely not. Like, I think it all looked extremely crisp, extremely clear. No, like, I guess one of the things that we're used to seeing a lot on this show is like, like things clipping. You definitely didn't see any of that.
Right. There wasn't any slowdown that I noticed where it's like the computer just couldn't handle processing it like we see in some stuff. So
exactly.
All around, one of the better CG things that I've seen in a while as far as like series go. But for a few tasty marshmallows out of our big bowl of Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir cereal, I have to pause every time, and it's like, my tongue's not ready for that pause, so I just kind of trip over it. The series is based on an original concept created by French writer and storyboarder Thomas Struck. He was inspired by a meeting with a certain lady and decades of comics binge reading.
That sounds naughty when you say it. Yeah, that first
that's
part.
The way it was worded, but literally it was just because like the lady was wearing a Ladybug shirt, and that was pretty much it. He intended to make Ladybug a comic book series, as he had no memories of seeing Ladybug-themed superheroes in comics until he met Jeremy Zag, who loved the project and wanted to produce it as a cartoon. Zag was 25 at the time and not originally from the cartoon industry, so he just kind of took this up on a whim.
Oh, wow.
In developing Cat Noir, Struck said that ladybugs represented good luck, so it was natural to partner her with a black cat character with bad luck powers. And Cat Noir was
I didn't even think about that. That is super clever.
Right. There's a lot of this stuff where I'm like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. Cat Noir was a tribute to comic characters like Catwoman, so it was like having Catwoman and Spider-Man in the same show, but reverse genders and roles. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Akuma means devil or demon in Japanese, and you might also know him as the character from Street Fighter.
Oh, yeah.
Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir was pitched as an anime-styled show targeted towards teens and young adults with a darker plot line, but this didn't work, so it was switched from 2D to 3D with the slightly younger demographic in mind. And that shows, like, you can see that, but you can also see the hints of what it was going to be originally in there still.
Absolutely. I can definitely see the anime type influence in there too. Like, this felt like something, there were definitely a lot of times watching this that I was just like, this would be an interesting anime, because like, I just felt like there was a lot of influence or nods to that sort of genre. So that makes a ton of sense.
And I would totally read this as a comic or a manga too.
Sure, yeah.
This is one that surprised me, but then I felt dumb for not noticing. Almost all the episodes are named after the villains that Hawkmoth creates in them.
Yeah.
And I looked back at all the titles and I was like, oh yeah, I guess that does make sense. I wasn't even connecting that.
Finally, my time has come.
So you did notice
I caught on before you. Victory!
Everybody gets one.
Yeah. Well, I'll screw up on the next one.
Originally, instead of Ladybug having a lucky charm move that summons a useful object, her superpower would be possessing pure luck that can only be used for the good of others. But the creators thought this would be confusing for younger viewers. And I get that. Like, it would be hard to explain luck to a kid. A kid that's never really experienced misfortune wouldn't know what like luck feels like, I guess, or wouldn't be able to comprehend it the same way. But I love that idea where she would have been kind of either like Domino or Longshot in that sense.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of thinking that too. I was like, that would have been really cool. But yeah, I suppose because even I think about those two characters, and even for adults, sometimes they have trouble wrapping their heads around how to use those powers. You know, like that's why those two characters, like I'd say Longshot especially, doesn't even show up hardly ever anymore in the comics. And Domino did for a while with some of the Deadpool runs, but like she doesn't get used nearly as much as she could, because I think people don't know how to use that. So
it's a challenging thing to approach, just because it's like, if they're lucky, wouldn't they always be victorious? How do you turn luck against somebody? How do you make a compelling plot line for a character that's based on luck, you know?
Yeah, how do you, really put them in danger?
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, that's a whole nother thing. But so I hadn't really heard of this show at all. I've seen pictures of Ladybug, but I didn't know what it was, and nor did I try to find out. And so it just was kind of something that existed in my periphery and was just there until this was brought up. And that was it for me.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. Had seen images of Ladybug, and I think I'd maybe seen a title card of it before. That's as far as I got. My wife knew what it was, but then again, she works with children. So, that's what it is.
I'll say right up. Okay, well, let me do this part, and then I'll say what I was about to say. So let's go ahead and jump into the episodes we watched for today's show. The first one being Stormy Weather, Season 1, Episode 1, where after losing a contest for TV Weather Girl, bitter Aurori is akumatized into the villain Stormy Weather, who traps Marinette's friend, I almost said Ayla too, who traps Marinette's friend Alia in ice.
There you go. Right? It messes with you when you see that name, right?
It's hard to automatically say Alia. Like, that's just not a common enough name for me. Maybe it's a common French name, but
I don't know.
So I want to say right off the bat, to set this show up, that for a kid's show, there is a lot of flirting. A lot of flirting.
Yeah. There's definitely a scene in here that I was just like, I didn't think I'd see sexual tension in a child's show. But it was there.
And Marinette has like a really pretty stalkery personality. Like, she's an obsessive fangirl over Adrian.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And we'll go into why in a second.
Yeah, let's talk about those characters real quick and give a little background so everyone can kind of get a feeling for who we're going to talk about. Starting with Marinette, who is our every girl, though. And I don't know like what she's like in the French version, but in the English version, she is very, I don't know, like I almost expected to go into this and them still have a little bit of accent or something, but they don't. some of the like background characters still have French accents because this all takes place in France.
Yeah, I was gonna say it does take place in France still, France proper.
Right. So I was kind of wondering if they would all sound like that one girl from Angela Anaconda, the blonde girl.
Oh yeah.
That always wears the beret, which I did appreciate that a beret did finally show up in the show. That made me laugh a little bit.
That legitimized it for you. Okay, now it's French. Yeah.
Now it's French. Ha ha! Yes. But Marinette is very not confident in herself. She is, very casually dressed. But just, I don't know. She's kind of a just regular girl. She doesn't excel in anything. It seems she's just kind of average in every way, shape, and form in her normal life. But as Ladybug, when she does the magical girl transformation, which they do that like Sailor Moon style, it's great. And it's funnier when Cat Noir does it. That's great. That's fantastic. But as Ladybug, though, she's very different. Like, she has a lot of confidence and she will, she'll kind of do the Spider-Man thing where she'll have some witty one-liners and say things, and she'll use puns and kind of do some back and forth with like Cat Noir, who is kind of her peer as far as like a superhero, but they don't know each other's identities or anything, like secret identities, right? So very separate, but they do team up quite a bit. But I like the juxtaposition of that she is a very average, kind of a little meek as far as a regular person, but once she's in that suit, she goes full hero mode, and she's like, putting on that suit gives her confidence.
Yeah, I mean, if you think of like the Spider-Man animated series, she's very Peter Parker, Spider-Man separate, where Peter is just a, everyday guy, just really kind of not boring, but he's just a normal dude. And once he goes into Spider-Man mode, like he gets all quippy and stuff with the villains and everything. And she's very much like that on both of those sides. And it's not that she necessarily gets any extra. She's not a different person. I guess she just, like you said, feels more confident in that form when she is combined with her Kwame or her Miraculous that is Tiki, which is a little ladybug Kwame that she has. And that just it's like turns into an earring or earrings for her, and then that's when she goes into her transformation, which is pretty basic. It's just kind of her in a little bandit mask and a bodysuit, a ladybug bodysuit.
Yeah, it's very much like one of those Clark Kent taking off his glasses, and you're like, oh, I've never seen this man before. It's Superman. It's like, really?
It's all like, right, what'd you do with Marinette, Ladybug? She was just here. It's like, I don't know. It's not even like she's trying to change her voice either. She still sounds just like Marinette.
It sounds exact same. Hair is the exact same, like those blue pigtails she's got. It's great.
It's like, there's a suspension of disbelief that you absolutely have to get past for all the characters in this show, because it's the same with Cat Noir. He's literally, his hair is still out. It's the same color. He still sounds the same. He's only wearing a bandit mask also and some cat ears, but no one recognizes him. Even Ladybug, who is right there with him constantly, side by side, and is obsessed with him, his actual alter ego, or Adrian, his actual self.
Yeah.
It's like you would think she would have noticed, but at no point do they really, no point until a little bit later on, do they even consider that as a possibility.
Like, they don't even suspect at any point.
No, but no one does. So it's not just them.
There's a few things I do want to spotlight about Adrian / Cat Noir, which is Adrian's personality. He is the son of a fashion kind of icon. So if we think, Joseph, who's a fashion icon? Who makes fashion stuff anymore? Versace, is that a person?
Yeah.
That's a person.
Yeah, that's his full name, Versace.
He's like a son of Versace sort of guy. So he's a celebrity. He is also a model.
He's also a supermodel. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a model. But he is a high school student. They go to high school together. He just also happens to be a superhero with a Kwame named Plague, just like Marinette has hers. So he's kind of the same thing. They don't know who each other are, aside from they don't know each other's split. What am I saying, man? They don't know each other's secret identities and all that stuff. They know each other as acquaintances at school, and she crushes on him and he crushes on her, and neither of them tell each other that, of course, because
It's kind of like a what is the comparison I'm thinking of? Okay, it's a Clark Kent Lois Lane where he crushes on Ladybug, but
that's true.
Ladybug doesn't really crush on Cat Noir, but Marinette crushes on Adrian. So it's kind of like reverse roles there.
Yeah, there we go. And in his everyday life, he's a bit more outgoing, but he's very he's not like jokey and stuff in his casual, like everyday stuff. Like he's very straight-laced, very compassionate, very caring for people, and also maybe a little bit distant too. That might be a little bit of that celebrity aspect of things. Like he doesn't seem to talk a lot to people, but he is very confident in everything. But when he's Cat Noir, he is straight up like, I don't know, almost like Deadpool level of jokiness, just puns, as many puns as he can make. He gets super flirty all the time, like constantly flirting. And I got to talk about his suit. There's two things about his suit I want to mention because he's got, three things. So he's got the black suit with the claws and everything that you would think of. But the fact that they gave him the little cat ear headband.
Yeah.
It's cracking me up. And that he has a leather belt as a tail hanging off.
I was thinking that. I was like, did he construct his suit? Did he choose that?
That cracks me up, man. That's so funny.
Yeah, like that's part of his transformation is just strapping a belt on as a tail.
Right. That is some Quail Man level stuff.
Totally.
What I do like about the suit were those two things I think are kind of goofy looking and kind of silly. I got used to them, but they're kind of silly. Oh, wait, another goofy thing is he's got a bell around his neck.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about the bell.
Me too. Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh,
it plays an important role later, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. I wish it didn't. But okay, the one thing I do like is that his domino mask he wears also like has a covering over his eyes to make his eyes look cat-like they're green with the like narrow like horizontal slits like irises, and I think that looks really cool.
Yeah,
so as far as that goes, that's awesome.
And he does have some kind of like bad luck powers in the sense that like when I don't remember what his phrase is, but he slashes something when he has his powers charged up.
Cataclysmic.
Cataclysmic. Yeah, okay.
He does a lot of cat puns, folks.
And that's essentially the opposite of Ladybug's main power, which is Lucky Charm. And that literally just like is her Deus Ex Machina. But what I like about it is that it's an item that you wouldn't even think. It's not like a giant missile launcher. Great, this is exactly what I need right now. But it's like, a towel or something. It's like, okay, well, how am I going to use this? And then she has to kind of figure out how she can utilize it in this very specific situation to win the day.
I really like that. She also kind of has a yo-yo, like her charm's also kind of like a yo-yo. Yeah. She can use that to latch onto things, swing around, pull items closer to her.
And also to de-evilize the butterflies.
Yes. Okay. So we've got to talk about the main bad guy and that portion. So the main bad guy being Hawkmoth, who is this, I don't know how to describe this Destro looking dude with like a silver mask, and he's a very prim and proper type villain guy who stares at like a big window all the time and has these glowy butterflies around them. And whenever he senses somebody in strife, experiencing some level of strife in their life, he sends out one of his little butterflies that turns black, and it enters like some object or something on their person, and then they themselves become evil and just start causing disruption and stuff like that.
And they take on some kind of evil persona too. Like they turn into super villains, basically.
Yeah, and they get powers and all kinds of stuff. So when we're talking about this particular episode, for whatever reason, there's a contest about having the next big, I don't know, teenage weather girl. I don't know why that's a big thing.
I don't know, but I thought it was pretty funny. Just the whole idea. That's what their contest was over.
Yeah.
And then the loser of that, whose name was literally like Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
She was upset, and so Hawkmoth detected that. He's like, oh, great, and then sent one of those akumatized butterflies out, and that got into her umbrella, And that then turned her into Stormy Weather, who is basically just a weather villain, a weather storm-like villain.
But it was cool. Like, her powers were like way farther off the scale than I expected it to go with a show like this. Like, she was destroying all kinds of stuff, man. Like, she was way more powerful than I thought it would be, because I was just like, you know, I mean, how far are they going to go with a girl who swings a yo-yo and a guy dressed as a kitty cat? Like, what can they really do? But like, she was destroying the city. So I was like, oh, yeah, all right, they're going pretty hard.
But the counter to that, the way that they soften that is because Ladybug has like a reset button that, yes, like after an episode, she's just like, okay, she says something that just resets everything back to like how it was before. I think she just says like Miraculous Ladybug or something.
Yeah, I believe that. So it's part of that charm that she has, is when a villain gets defeated or whatever, which means that they find whatever item has the akumatized butterfly hidden inside, they break that item, letting that butterfly out, and then she captures the butterfly in her charm, and that purifies the butterfly, lets it back out as in its, you know, back to its purified form. And that not only breaks, you know, the evil spell basically over the person, who then has no memory basically of what, you know, has happened. It also basically, like, you know, she says her little phrase along with that whole, it's almost like a little ritual kind of thing that she ends up doing. And it resets everything that happened since that person got akumatized. So like whatever damage that person did gets undone. So yeah.
It was kind of cool to watch. Like, I thought it was cheap at first, but I was like, okay, well, it's not that bad. Like, it's just like, it was cool seeing the reset actually happen, the cars being like flipped back up right. And
yeah, it's a cool visual.
Yeah,
for sure.
So it wasn't as like cheesy as it sounds, I guess.
How did you feel about the fight scene at the end of this episode in particular? How did you feel about that one?
As far as what goes, I mean, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I just want to know how you felt, because I thought it was like, I was pretty impressed. Like, it was way better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, I liked that, you know, that Cat Noir got to use his powers to essentially like knock that sign down on her and stuff, or start to, and then them getting like blown around with that wind power, like that was actually pretty cool. And I think it was Cat Noir who got like knocked down into the cars and like kind of bounced back and forth between them as he hit them on the way down.
Yeah.
There was some really cool, especially for CG, like there's a lot of like motion in this that I wasn't anticipating.
Yeah, that's where it was really, there's a lot of really dynamic movement that was really fast paced, and like something that you usually don't see except for in anime, which is what kind of surprised me a little bit. And I do like, I really enjoyed seeing Cat Noir's power, which we were talking about, like, because he got like this energy to his like little kitty claws. I'm going to call him a kitty. I'm not going to call him a cat.
Well, he's got a little bell. Yeah.
Because he has a bell. He's not a cat. He's a kitty cat. And he ran by that billboard sign and like kind of scratched along it, but he didn't cut through the metal. It's as he did it, the metal rusted so that it fell over,
right,
and caused like this chain of events. And I thought that was really cool, that it wasn't just like slashing through something. It's like what he did, basically caused bad luck. It caused that metal to, this metal's now rusted, so that the sign would fall over and cause this to happen. And I was like, man, that is cool.
So it's like probability affecting powers are always really interesting to me. And so I like the way they use those as his primary powers, as the bad luck part of it.
Yeah. And just they caused a huge, like, long chain of events in that battle to take down Stormy Weather. And just the amount of things that happened in that really short span of time was pretty cool. So I was pleasantly surprised.
Very impressive for a show intended for such a young audience. Like, they really sneak a lot in there that makes it, more teen appropriate, I'd say.
Oh, easily. Yeah. What's interesting is I think visually, it looks like this would be a show meant for young kids. But as far as like how they execute it, I'm like, oh yeah, I could definitely see teens and young adults getting into this thing for sure.
Yeah, so I feel like they push the boundaries, but then they have to have things in there like that reset button to be like, everything's okay, kids, all that.
Yep, we fixed it.
within the limits that they have, they really pull a lot off. So I appreciated that.
Yeah.
The next episode we watched for today's show was The Collector, season 2, episode 2. This was a Patreon pick by Evs.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Evs. This was a good one.
It was. After Marinette learns more about the Miraculous book she took from Adrian, she begins to suspect his father of being Hawkmoth. Meanwhile, Gabriel, who is Adrian's father, furious over Adrian losing the book, gets akumatized into the Collector. This one was done so well that I was like, oh my man, he was so smart the way he pulled this off. I would have not thought of that. Like I'd be the worst villain because I would not have great plans like this.
This was the point where I was just like, okay, the writers of this are incredibly intelligent. This is great. Like, I do want to point out one thing though, is that the pacing at the beginning of this episode was lightning fast, and I was like, "Whoa, let's tap those brakes a little bit at first, man." Like I felt like we were really barging in there when she first meets or starts talking to Master Fu.
Yeah. They throw a lot of information at you about everything that's going, really important parts of the overall story. And they're just like, you get it for maybe like 30 seconds to a minute. It's like, okay, hope you took all that in.
Yeah, it's like in 60 seconds, you learn the entire backstory of, all of the Miraculous, like, that there are guardians that guarded the secret and all of the, little, what are they called? The little Kwamis.
Yeah. And how those guardians had to protect and distribute those Kwamis to deserving individuals. And then how Master Fu did something, we're not sure what yet, to like, it's his fault that I guess they let their guard down and the book went missing and the Kwamis, the butterfly and peacock Kwami went missing.
Yeah.
And now he's taken up the role of helping to decipher the book since he hadn't really been able to see it before. But he's one of the only remaining guardians, or maybe the only remaining one. I'm not sure.
Right. And since we know that, the not the peacock, but the butterfly Kwami went missing, and that's the one that Hawkmoth uses, he inadvertently created Hawkmoth, basically. But we learned all of that within like the shortest span of time. And I'm like, man, you could have spent a little bit more time, like really letting us soak this all in. Because this is interesting.
I feel like us explaining it to you guys was longer than they explained it to us. Yeah.
Also, I love his Kwami is like a tiny little turtle guy. And that's so adorable. He has a little turtle shell.
I love the idea of those Kwamis being the catalyst for those transformations. I think that's such an interesting idea, and also opens it up for so many more characters by just having Kwamis thrown at them.
So that's many.
Interesting.
And I was expecting at first that there was only going to be a few, but it seems like there could be a ton, because in that book, like you even see. So we know there's Ladybug. We know there's a cat, obviously. We know because of the book that there is a, the butterfly and the peacock. He himself has a turtle one. In the book, we saw a fox. So like there's tons of different variations out there. We see like a bunny one, I think, in the next episode. I think that was supposed to be a bunny. So it's just like, man, that's so cool. Like, I really want to know more about that stuff. Like, that's interesting to me.
And I'm also curious about the actual butterfly Kwami. It seems like that one's been corrupted in some way, because I don't think it was always like that.
No, that's my thought too, is that something happened and it got corrupted. And I wonder if it depends on like who the Kwami is like mastered by. I wonder if that has something to do with it. Like, because he said they're in charge of distributing, but like if like someone in the wrong mindset or having the wrong, like, I don't know, like outlook, or if they have like, quote unquote, like darkness in the hearts or something like that, like does that give them evil powers? Like, does that corrupt the Kwami as well? I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot that's kind of up in the air for us, at least, because we didn't get through the entire series. I mean, I don't even think the series is over yet, but there's at least 5 seasons, and we made it to season 3 in the episodes we watched.
I think there's also a movie, maybe more.
Oh, wow. Sure. Okay.
And there's some specials, I know. So
the general idea of this one is that book has been stolen from Hawkmoth, and that's what Master Fu and Marinette were talking about at the beginning, although short. And Adrian is being blamed for this because he's the one who took it out of his vault, out of Hawkmoth's vault, his father's vault. And because of that, Adrian is being pulled out of school as well. And this is where Marinette's getting upset that Adrian's being pulled out of school, still not knowing that he's Cat Noir. Right. And so she's trying to figure out a way to help him get back to school as well, while also trying to find out who Hawkmoth actually is. The initial suspicion being that it might be Adrian because he was the last one that she saw with the book, and that's why she wouldn't tell Master Fu that, because she didn't want him to suspect Adrian as well. She wanted to prove it first, and then she is now under the suspicion that it's his father instead, which she's right, but she needs to prove it first.
And this is where this is the genius of this episode. And I didn't even understand it at first until I don't know, maybe the last 7 or 8 minutes of the episode when he was already the collector and he was fighting against them in the mansion. That's when it clicked of what his real plan was. He created a checkmate, he created a win-win situation. And I was like, oh my God, this is genius. So this is what he did. He knew with that book missing that there was a big possibility it would get traced back to him. So he needed to make sure that Cat Noir and Ladybug did not figure out that he was actually Hawkmoth. So he basically puts his Kwame away and removes the guise of Hawkmoth. He can't transform to Hawkmoth for now. He uses one of his own akumanized butterflies to basically infect himself and turn himself into a totally different supervillain, the Collector. And then he starts going hog wild, terrorizing the city, challenging Ladybug and Cat Noir, so that Ladybug's starting to suspect that it is, Adrian's dad. And she tells Cat Noir, hey, I think it's this one guy. They go there and see that, oh, this guy is this villain, the Collector. They fight him. So it's oh, well, he can't be Hawkmoth because he's been akumanized.
And Hawkmoth is the one turning people or akumatizing people. So it can't be him because he's been akumatized. So that was such a genius plan. And
it gets even more genius than that because this was the thing, because everything leads up to he wants to take the Miraculous from Ladybug. He wants her power because her power is the one that can, restore things, that can basically set things back, rewind time a little bit, as we talked about before. So in this situation, when they get there, if he wins, then he gets what he wants. He can get the Miraculous and he gets what he wants to do in the first place.
And if he loses, they're off his trail too.
Yeah, so he wins either way. He created the perfect setup. It was a total checkmate, and that was unbelievably smooth. Totally blew my mind.
Yeah. And so even though he, quote unquote, lost the battle, he won the war because now they are completely off of his trail. They don't think he's Hawkmoth anymore, even though they still associate him with the book. And Ladybug or Marinette brings the book back to him by her own free will just to help Adrian get back into school, because now that she doesn't think he's Hawkmoth, it doesn't matter if he has it or not. And I guess Master Fu has already taken some phone pictures of the pages.
Yeah,
so
he's got I love these new. Yeah, I love these new devices. Yeah, but so he 100% wins because he gets the book back anyway. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
He gets the book back. They lost his scent as Hawkmoth. Yeah, he wins. And then we find out that his reasoning is more complicated than I would have anticipated. It's really a Mr. Freeze kind of situation.
Yes, it is a total heart of ice situation. I totally was thinking that he is keeping his dead wife in a jar thing.
Yeah, essentially in cryostasis.
Yes.
It may either dead or at least
nicer way of putting it than I said.
Yeah. Yeah, his dead wife in a jar. No, and so his plan is to get Ladybug's power and then combine it with another one or something so that he can then reverse
the past
mistakes and bring her back. And that's something that transitions so well into the next episode that we watched, because that was almost the start of the next episode, was explaining just that, where this next episode was Cat Blanc, season 3, episode 21. This was the highest rated. When Marinette makes a serious mistake, she has to face the consequences by fighting the last person she'd ever imagined would get akumatized. And it does open with Gabriel Hawkmoth talking to his wife, Emily, who is in that tank, about getting the Miraculous off of Ladybug and Cat Noir to repair the mistakes of the past and to bring her back. He's a sympathetic villain because he has reason behind what he's doing, not just something, superficial.
Absolutely. And what's interesting about this is this, as this episode plays out, Adrian figures out, because of something that Marinette does, Adrian figures out that she is Ladybug, figures out her identity. Not long after that, this portal opens up and this, bunny lady, I almost said buggy.
Yeah, Bunnix is her name.
Yeah, Bunnix shows up, who almost does a, not straight up time travel. It's almost like multiversal sort of travel, it seems.
Yeah, she kind of lives in not lives in, but she has a base, her, her burrow, that is literally in between different dimensions or different periods of time or something.
It's almost different possible futures and outcomes. Yeah. That was cool. And basically just says hey, something went really wrong. We need you to go into the future here and fix it. Yeah, go do that. You've got to get this, you've got to reverse this akumanized butterfly here because otherwise we're doomed. The world's destroyed, basically. She gets sitting there, and it is actually Cat Noir is the one that had been turned, who is now all white. He is now Cat Blanc, which is white in French.
Just white cat instead of black cat.
Yeah. And he is psycho, man. He has gone psychotic. He was creepy, dude. Also, he can Hadouken now, which is cool.
Oh, yeah. And his primary goal right now is to get the Miraculous from Ladybug. He's doing still Hawkmoth's deeds to try to get that back, even though a lot happens here, because we find out, like we said earlier, the only way you can get akumatized is if you are in a dire state emotionally.
Yes.
And it takes a little while to get there, but we find out that the reason he is because of a broken heart. And it's okay, so I guess, they broke up or something. But so a couple things to start that off. In this alternate future, after she gives him this gift, which is what set things in motion, in this alternate future where Bunnix had not pulled her into the burrow, they, Cat Noir or Adrian and Marinette get together as a couple because, like you said, Adrian finds out that she's Ladybug. And even though he doesn't tell her that, since he's always been infatuated with Ladybug, he now knows, oh, well, this is connected to my normal life. I realized I love you. And she is obsessed with Adrian, so she's, of course, happy about that. So this all happens. They start a relationship, but then the father, Gabriel, he forces them to, he forces Marinette to break it off with Adrian because it's bad for their family image, basically for, a commoner to be connected with this supermodel.
Well, yeah, he's he's a big celebrity. It doesn't look good for them.
So. Yeah. And so she complies to that because otherwise he's going to get pulled out of school or whatever. He's forcing them apart. And so that then breaks his heart or breaks her heart to the point where Hawkmoth is about to akumatize her, and Adrian sees this, transforms into Cat Noir and goes out to rescue her, crushes the akumatized butterfly and saves her. And then there's a lot that happens here as I'm explaining it.
Yeah, she saw the transformation, so now she knows his secret too.
She knows, but also her father's personal assistant sees the transformation and then tells him that he has been Cat Noir this whole time.
Right.
And that sets this whole bad chain of events in motion where he then akumatizes. Okay, what happens first? Does he akumatize him and then that's what leads to the showdown?
No, what happens next is then So Ladybug, Cat Noir know who each other are, become an even stronger couple. And I think I'm guessing, because it doesn't show kind of the in-between, but they have they finally have a showdown with Hawkmoth. So I'm guessing Hawkmoth, knowing who they are now, just probably draws them into an all-out fight. And that fight takes place where Adrian's mom is being held. And during that fight, he reveals that he is Adrian's father, and he's doing this to save Adrian's mother. So it starts basically like tearing him up like emotionally, because he's like, oh my God, this person I've been fighting all these years, or this year or whatever, this is my dad. He's trying to save my mom, but he's doing this and he's evil. But if I want my mom back too, but if I want her back, I have to turn on the girl I love, Ladybug. So he's torn. And as he's torn, that's when he gets the akumatized butterfly into him.
Yeah, that's right. He puts it in his cat bell.
In the cat bell.
Emotional damage.
Emotional damage. He gets turned, and he's still torn. Like he's trying to fight it back. He's about to destroy Ladybug, and then she convinces him to try to take out him instead. And then he can't do it. So instead, he just makes this huge explosion that essentially destroys a bunch of the world and kills both of them.
Yeah, it turns both of them to stone.
Yeah.
Which kills them, yeah.
They are dead.
They're dead.
It's not sugar-coated.
Because we see that because
we see them disintegrate in the future.
When Marinette from the past comes in to try to fix this future, she like touches the version of herself, or the version of Gabriel, and he just like disintegrates. And it's like, okay, so they're dead. And then that's what like sends Cat Blanc like spinning out of control, where he is just completely crazy now.
Yeah. So it is rough. But what she does is she realizes like, their love for each other, and that allows her to, she kind of submits and allows her to get in close. And that's how she gets the belt, breaks it, and writes all of that stuff. But knows that isn't enough. So when she gets back into the burrow, she's like, you need to take me back 10 minutes before you picked me up. So she goes back and essentially stops herself from giving him the present in the way that he does. Because she had signed the present initially. Yes.
And so she gets her lucky charm, gives her an eraser, which she doesn't know what's used for at first, but it's to erase her name from that card. So it's just what Ladybug passes it off as is a gift from her from his Brazilian fans for his 5th name day or something.
Yeah. So he never finds out her identity, no relationship, no showdown, no end of the world. So
the only person who then knows about what happened is Ladybug and Bunnix. Even though Bunnix knows who Hawkmoth is, Ladybug still doesn't. This version of Ladybug still doesn't, and she can't tell her who it is.
Right. And this version of Ladybug also does not know who Cat Noir is, which took me a while to figure out too, because I was just like, at the end of this episode, I was like, well, wait, here's a plot hole. She knows. And then I'm like, wait, no, because the version that knows is the version that died. This Ladybug never knew that Adrian and Cat Noir, aka Cat Blanc, were the same person. So I was like, oh, okay. Like that took me a while to wrap my head around. So
yeah, it's like she just knows that giving Adrian that card is what set all this in motion. So she knows she has to fix that.
Yep. So she does not know the link between Cat Noir and Adrian, just that it all started from that point.
Yeah. The way that they were able to wrap that up somehow cleanly, even with everything being as confusing as it sounds, is amazing to me.
I have a theory too, and I don't know if it's correct, but I would love Evs or someone to let me know. So Bunnix, I have a theory that Bunnix is not from the same present as them. I'm going to assume Bunnix is from the future, and that Bunnix is a grown-up version of Mano, which is the little girl that she's babysitting in that first episode, and a couple Like you see her around every once in a while, but they have like the same skin tone, same hair color. And she says at some point, like, hey, you chose me for this. And I'm like, interesting. So I am assuming like in the far future, like Ladybug, trains an older Minot to become, like one of these, heroes, guardians, whatever, and gets her a Kwame and stuff like that. So that's my theory.
Yeah, there's a whole Bunnix backstory that we don't know about, and she calls Ladybug Minibug for some reason. So they have a whole thing that we just aren't aware of because we're jumping around so much.
Sure. But yeah, that's my theory. I would love for someone to let me know if I'm right or not. But my theory is Bunnix and Minot are the same person, just Bunnix is from the future.
The way this episode closed out was really nice, too, because it was a good moment between Cat Noir and Ladybug of her just calling a meeting with him and then just telling him that she did it and just resting her head on his shoulder. And he's just like, I don't know what's going on, but I like it, or I'm fine with it,
Yeah, he's like, all right, I'm good with this.
Yeah, it was just a nice quiet moment right there. And I was like, oh, I appreciate, after all she's been through, she deserves that.
And he was singing the same song before she got there that his future self was singing kind of sinisterly, like in the future before she showed up.
Yeah.
So it was kind of an interesting nod, and it was about like being lonely. So I thought that was like, it was like a nice little bittersweet sort of like thought.
Very interesting show.
For sure.
Well, Chris, it looks like it's about time we send our kids to France to team up with Ladybug and Cat Noir and maybe see if they can convince Master Fu to send some cool Kwamis our way. Then see what they thought of the show Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir.
I thought this cartoon was going to be really lame and like just a show for babies, but it was actually pretty fun. There was lots of action and cool costumes, and somehow they made butterflies evil, which is pretty metal if you think about it. Now I just need to find a Kwame for myself. Maybe I can be an armadillo? That sounds cool.
Who would have thought that a Ladybug superhero could be so cool? Now I just need to see her team up with Spider-Man, Ant-Man, and the Tick for the ultimate bug-based team. If commercials have taught me anything, their arch nemesis would be Raid!
Oh, no. Oh, man. Their other arch enemy is me flicking them off the screens of my house during the summer. They're always there.
I try to be so good for bugs, I try to be so good to bugs, especially ladybugs. Like I am as gentle as possible. Now, if you're a fly or a mosquito, then stay out of the way. Yeah, you're fair game. I will murder you.
I do really like ladybugs, but yeah, if a fly or a spider or a mosquito or something gets in my house, like spider is kind of like, if he stays out of my direct line of sight and just hangs out in a corner, we're good. We have an understanding. But like if you show up on my bedpost or something, we're going to have a throwdown. And let me tell you, I'm probably going to win because I'm a giant compared to you. So take that.
Spiders, I will usually just take out on a paper towel or something and put them outside. I won't kill spiders.
I take them out too on the bottom of my shoe.
That's horrible. I don't want to hear that.
Well, speaking of things you do want to hear, how about what you rated this show overall?
The only knowledge I had of this show, like I was talking about, were pictures I'd seen in passing of Ladybug, which means I basically came in blind. While you can tell right away that it's aimed at a much younger audience with how straightforward it tended to be at times and just how they really kind of simplified things, not to the point of talking down to their audience, but they simplified it to where it was very understandable in a lot of ways. They still... There was still a surprising amount of nuance to it, and they gave it enough complexity to where there's an appeal to an older audience too, for the larger plot line going on. And I appreciated that they gave the main villain, Hawkmoth, some deeper agency that wasn't just to take over the world or evilize everything just for funsies or whatever, And I go back and forth on how I felt about Marinette essentially stalking Adrian through most of the show. And we really didn't focus on that much. But I mean, she knew his schedule. She knew when he got out of certain classes, where he would be. It was straight up stalking. And they just played it off as a fun kind of quirk she had, but
yeah,
it was absolute stalking.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad red flag. Let's be honest. That's not good.
Yeah. But I mean, now that we witnessed the depths of their relationship in that last episode and how it's going to move forward I mean, she doesn't have like knowledge to the point where she knows he's Cat Noir or anything, but she has that resting on her shoulders now, that burden of knowing that if she gets too close in that sense, that it could ruin things or whatever. Like, I'm curious to see how it progresses going forward, if she'll be more distant because she fears something like that happening, like it triggering something, or if she will see the appeal of the good times they did have when they were together. I don't know, but I'm curious about how that's going to progress. So overall, I'd give Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir 4.5 big bowls of Akumatai cereal out of 5. And I think this one might surprise you, or at the very least, win you over with its charm.
Yeah, I think it is a really solid show. I mean, it's definitely intended for a youngish audience, but I also really see how this would appeal to anyone that has nostalgia for shows like Kim Possible or Totally Spies, which made this a fun watch for me because I really enjoyed those shows, especially Totally Spies. I think the characters are really good. I like them quite a bit. I do think Marinette can be a little problematic, you know, in just the stocky way. But as far as like the personalities and development and the character development, especially over just the 3 episodes we watched, it was really good. And I also was like ready to write Hawkmoth off as kind of a one-dimensional villain. But then seeing a bit of a peek behind the curtain, I can tell that there's a lot more once we start seeing like why he's doing what he's doing. And that, you know, it's basically the Mr. Freeze thing, kind of like we talked about earlier. I think the big thing about this show, which is why it stands out so much, is how clever it is. I think it shows really well in that first episode, in that last fight scene, how Ladybug can think something out and we only get like a hint of that visually. Then you see this really complex chain of events play out in this really fast-paced and exciting way that I never would have thought of. And then also just the idea of how Hawkmoth throws them off the trail by, you know, infecting himself with this thing. And it's just, the writing is spectacular. They are masters of doing this, of writing these episodes. So I have to, if I had a hat, I would tip it to you because you were doing a way better job of writing than some of the other shows we've seen. So yeah, this is a really cool like teen spy thriller and superhero show all rolled into one. So with that, I would give this show 4.5 bowls of cataclysmic cereal out of 5. And I would honestly recommend this to, like, if you like The Incredibles, I would give this a shot because I think you would really, really enjoy it.
And I think fans of Sailor Moon would also enjoy it in the sense that it is a magical girl show, really at its core.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think that is 100% on the nose. There's a lot of, I think this thing takes a lot of inspiration from things like that, like Sailor Moon and Incredibles, and just runs with it. So I think anybody that enjoys that kind of storytelling or those type of characters, I really think you're going to find a lot of everything you love in this show. And there is so much to like about this. So I really would recommend this to pretty much anyone of all ages. I think you'll find something to like.
This is going to be one of these shows, at least for the year, that's essentially the same way we felt about like Monster High.
Oh, yeah.
We're not the demographic for this at all, but it's got so much to appreciate that you can't really say that it's not a good show, even if you aren't that target demographic.
Absolutely. Yeah. I am surprised how much I ended up loving this.
Yeah, a lot. They did so much right here that I'm still so surprised by it with the target audience that they were able to get away with so much, pushing the envelope just enough to make it interesting still.
Yeah, totally.
So thank you, Evs, for suggesting this. Obviously, we had a really great time with it.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was definitely one of those things where I went in just thinking, oh man, I hope we don't break your heart. And now I'm just like, oh man, why were you hiding this from us for so long? So maybe I'll forgive you for being such a big fan of Winx Club. Just
yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't gonna let it go. I couldn't let it go because you told us last week you're a fan of Winx Club. So thank you for still supporting us, even though we totally ragged on Winx Club and still continue to do so.
Yeah, hopefully this redeems the way we felt about Winx Club a little bit, at least.
Oh, a little bit, maybe. Maybe.
Well, listeners, looks like our milk supply is now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye. And next week, we'll be watching
FLCL, chosen by Patreon supporter Doc Trancy.
Oh, man. I was literally just talking about that show yesterday and how I wanted to rewatch it. So this is a perfect opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about, because there's a sequel to it that I haven't seen yet, and I really would like to. But yeah, this will be a good primer to see the sequel. But yeah, we promised that you would hear us do a little bit more anime this year, and we are sticking to that promise. We're hopping right back into it.
Yeah, it's only the second month of the year, and we've already done 2 at least now.
Yep. So here we go.
That's a good start.
Heck yeah.
Once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
We'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerdsloth,
a place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.